Cabbage is one of the most inexpensive and underrated vegetables. Here are my favorite ways to prepare it and my favorite way to eat it. I'm gonna start with an old classic. I grew up eating this a lot. It is the old school cabbage soup. Now this is not the diet version. It's gonna have flavor. You don't need a whole cabbage for this, although you can use a whole head if you wanna make just a big vat and freeze some for later. But probably about a half to a third of a cabbage is gonna do you. And keep in mind, like a lot of green leafy vegetables, as cabbage cooks, it also shrinks a little bit. So it might look like a lot to start out with, but it cooks down. I'm gonna start by browning off some beef stew meat. My mom used to use short ribs. You can do that if you wanna elevate this a little more, but I'm just gonna simply season it and brown it in the Dutch oven. All right, I'm gonna add in some onion and celery. I'm gonna flavor this up with a little bit of Greek seasoning, and then I like a combination of beef bouillon and chicken broth, and of course tomatoes. At this point, we're gonna bring it to a simmer and simmer it for about an hour and a half till that meat gets nice and tender, and then we'll add our cabbage in. This smells so good. This is perfect for really any night. It doesn't have to be wintertime to enjoy this. What you wanna do is take some forks and kind of shred up that beef a little bit. Look at that. You gotta top it with sour cream because that's what my mom did. A little sprinkle of some parsley. This is dinner tonight. Excellent. This next cabbage recipe is one of my favorite things to eat of all time. It is stuffed cabbage rolls. If you've never had one, today's the day. We'll start by peeling off the loose leaves that are on the outside. You want to keep them as big as possible. So one large head of cabbage should work for this recipe, or you can get 2 medium heads so that you've got some of the bigger leaves. If they start to rip, then stop there, and we're going to go ahead and cut the core out and then add it to a pot of boiling water, and it'll loosen them up. This kind of happens quickly. You'll see the color get a much prettier green, and then they'll just start to pull away. Don't forget to blanch the leaves that you pulled off as well. We've got our leaves ready to roll, so I'm gonna make the filling. It's super easy. You're just gonna add in your ground beef. I'm using a ground sirloin because it's nice and lean. To that, I'll add some crushed garlic, a little bit of minced onions, a pinch of allspice. Now this is where that kind of Middle Eastern flair comes into these. That's what I like. If you don't like that, leave it out. Next, I'm adding in the uncooked rice. Now there are lots of different versions to stuffed cabbage. Some cook the rice, some don't. This is much easier, so that's the route I take. As these cook, the meat will let off some moisture and that will be absorbed into the rice and the cabbage as well. All right, now to prep the leaves, we're gonna cut out the little rib from the core, and that'll help it to roll easier. All right, rolled up and ready to go. So I'm gonna start by putting a little tomato sauce in the bottom, then we'll put our cabbage rolls and top it with a little bit more, cover it and bake it for about an hour. Look at this, just wait. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That makes me so happy. For one final burst of flavor, I like to spritz it with just a little bit of lemon juice. I don't know if this is traditional, but I like it. It's kind of like magic how that liquid absorbed into the rice and it's perfectly cooked. It's like the best meatball stuffed into a cabbage. So much flavor. Hands down, my favorite way of the day. Time for something cold and crunchy. We all know that cabbage is the main source for coleslaw, and sometimes people don't know what else to do with it. But what I'm making is a step up from that. It's where salad meets coleslaw, and my friend Karen calls it a slaw-lad. This is gonna be a twist on that Asian style cabbage salad that you've probably had before, but I like to take it up a notch. This is a great time to make use of those remnants of cabbage in your fridge. If you don't have enough for a full salad, this goes great when you mix it with romaine as well. We're gonna start by mixing the dressing in the bowl, and then we'll toss everything together. You start with apple cider vinegar, a neutral flavored oil, and then sugar. I'm gonna counterbalance that sweetness with a little bit of salty from some soy sauce. When that sugar dissolves into there, it gets nice and thick. And now we're just gonna toss everything together. So I've got our cabbage, and then just whatever veggies you want. I like some things that are crisp and crunchy and colorful. I can just see all the perfect bites happening in this bowl. This is just a great recipe. You can serve it as a main dish. You can add in some chicken. It also makes the perfect side dish to your barbecues this summer. It's a little more interesting than a plain coleslaw. This is just a salad or a slaw-lad that's just gonna make you happy. I promise. Every single bite is a perfect bite. You get cold, crunchy, sweet, and salty. It's just perfect. This dish simply is called cabbage and noodles. Just a few ingredients is going to make a large amount of dinner. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna use the whole head of cabbage. Just a small head is all you need. Cabbage this size is gonna run you about $2. So this whole meal without the bacon would be way less than $5. So with the bacon, about $6 or $7 to feed your family. We're gonna get our egg noodles going in one pot and then bacon cooking in the other. All right, once our noodles are cooked, we add them back to the pot and stir in some butter. Once the onions have soaked in all that bacony goodness, now we add the cabbage. The seasoning is simple, just a little salt and pepper and maybe a little pinch of garlic powder. All right, time to bring it all together. Ooh, that's a lot of food right there. I'm definitely keeping this one on file. I discovered this next dish while I was traveling, and it was one of the greatest things ever. These are cabbage pancakes. We'll start by finely shredding the cabbage. You can do this with a knife or you can put it in your food processor, but you just want it really fine. I'm gonna add in some grated carrot and some chopped scallion. All right, we're gonna whip up a really quick batter and then we'll toss these veggies in and fry them up. We'll add in some water, soy sauce, sesame oil, salt, and pepper. These are so easy, y'all. They're gonna be so delicious. It's almost like you're making a hash brown patty. You know, you want those kind of crispy edges. If you've ever made potato pancakes, this is basically the same thing, just switching up the flavors. When you serve these, a dipping sauce is optional. You've already used these ingredients in the cabbage pancakes, so you can use them again with the addition of a little bit of sugar to make the dipping sauce. These are so good. These are one of those dishes that when you make it, you think, why don't I do this all the time? You got flavor, crunch, creaminess, juiciness. Also known as the perfect bite. I mean, come on, 5 dishes, no 2 dishes look the same. You've got to try these recipes. I'm telling you, these are not your mama's cabbage recipes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm here teaching you can cook that twice a week, so be sure you're subscribed so you never miss a thing. And when it comes to cabbage, you can cook that.
It's getting dark in here.
It's getting dark in here, so turn on all those lights.